What's going on, road runners? It's your boy C-Dub, aka Whit, coming at you guys with another commentary video. This time it is May 11th, 2019's CCC DR. That is Crown City Cyclist Donut Ride. It is going down. This particular day, it was a little inclement and the grounds are wet. So right now you see the front camera is looking juicy, looking nice, at least I should say. The rear camera is looking just a little grimy. So please forgive me for the footage, but again, inclement weather, and I'll do the best I can, or I tried the best I could with wiping the cameras off as we were in the ride. Again, there wasn't a lot of people again because of there being inclement weather. There was probably about 20-25 people out today. Group A, you see right here, we got a couple guys from Paddock Racing Team. We got Paul Whit right there with the Stormtrooper kit on. We got Jeffrey with the Black Panther kit on. We also have Phil Pineda right there with the Performance Bicycle kit to the left. And we got a few guys up front. I have a young lady to my right. And I have a few gentlemen behind me, one including Monty McCormick from Hey Monty. And go check his Instagram as well as his YouTube channel out. He's up and coming. He's trying to get it in, sharing his experiences in his own way with life behind bars. So the light has turned green, and we are on our way. So as you see, I got the matrix set up for you ladies and gentlemen at the bottom. I'm gonna take this opportunity right here because the ride is just getting started. If you have not subscribed to the Whit Road Runner family, I ask that you would hit that red subscribe button at the bottom. I also would ask that you would check out these videos. If this is your first video that you're seeing, go back and look at some other CCCDR videos. I have different playlists that you can check out, whether you're on a trainer, whether you're on a treadmill. Even while you're getting it in, you can watch these vids and see what your boy has to say. But right now, again, if you don't have a YouTube account, I ask that you would pause it right here, go ahead and set that thing up, come back. And the reason why I ask you to subscribe to the account is because the analytics is telling me that about 49.2% of you that are watching these videos have yet to hit that red button. The commitment does not hurt you, it only helps you, and it helps me too. So thank you for subscribing, I appreciate you. So right now we're going about 19 miles an hour. You see Monty there on in my rear camera. I'm right on Phil's wheel right here as he's sitting on Paul Whit's wheel, and we're making our way. The other gentlemen up front, I don't know what their names are right now, but I do know that a good friend of mine, a very faithful subscriber, John B, he will probably send me an email very, very soon after this thing goes live and let me know what the gentlemen's names are up front. But as you see, the young lady, she's sitting behind me. You can't really see her because of the grime on the back, but you see Monty got his flashlight going, blinding us all. But we're going about 20 miles an hour. I have 82 revolutions per minute. My heart rate is really low. We're chilling, we're noodling, and maybe my heart rate monitor was messed up again. And I'm not sure if any of you all saw in my Instagram that I am outliving my heart rate monitor. I'm wearing that thing out. So right now you can even see in my power, we're not going very hard at all. It just spiked up over 200, but we're not going hard at all right now. And I'm just sitting behind Phil. He is a larger rider. Paul Whit right there in front of him is also a larger rider. So for myself, I have marked Paul, and I told Monty to mark Phil. So you see here, we're passing a couple guys on the right-hand side. We got Bill, I believe right there, we just passed Bill. And we're making our way up the road. And this was made for a really good ride. So right now we're on our way. Again, I'm pushing out over 250 watts. Heart rate is now starting to creep up, 143 beats a minute. And I was currently already about 30 minutes into my ride once we started this. And as you saw right there, I tried to wipe off the camera so that you guys could have some good footage for this video. So right here, that's a nice little Navy kit my friend has right there on to the right. And you see how Jeffrey just pulled off. So we have a rotating pace line going right now. So Jeffrey went through, pulled over to the right. Paul went through, pulled over to the right. Phil's on his way up to the front, and you're going to see him pull over to the right. He gestured coming over, and Paul gave him the sign, you're clear, so he came over, and now you see me working my way up. Monty is doing really good by staying on my wheel, and I've really been working with him and just encouraging him to stay committed to that wheel that's in front of him. You see we got some more riders over there from the donut ride. That's like the B group. and they're over there on the bicycle path because it's safer for them. But because we're going to hit some pretty fast speeds here, we go on the shoulder because it's safer actually for us to avoid the walkers and the tourists and different things like that. So I've done my pulled over to the right, and now Monty has come up. And look at that kit, man, minus the mud streak. But that's his new kit, which is really, really nice. It says right there, "Hey Monty," and he's got his logo and everything all over that thing in different places that he's been on deployment, because he's also Navy like myself. So again, you see here we're rotating through, and again I have my mark. I got Paul Whit marked. And again, they're riding with Paddock Racing Team, and as you all know, that have been with me for a little while, that I used to race with Paddock Racing Team, went solo about a month and a half to 2 months ago. And so this made for a very interesting donut ride for me, because the last time I did donut ride, I was a member of Paddock Racing Team, and now I'm not. So I was really looking to see how this was going to play out. I was curious to see how many PRT members would show up, and as we see, there's 2 of them. So of course I'm competitive, as all racers are. We're all competitive out here, and I was very inclined to see how this ride will go down. Also, Phil right here, as he's overtaking, he also races for Paddock Racing Team, and they're growing. So kudos to Paddock Racing Team. So as you see here, we got Monty up front, and then we got Phil right here. And so as you see, it's starting to get real wet. So please just bear with me as I try to speak through this with you all, because of the inclement weather. So right now you see I'm up pulling and going at about 260, now 300 watts, and heart rate's at 164, speed is 24. So this particular donut ride was not the fastest. You see on the rear camera, there's a gap there. I believe that may be Phil trying to come up to jump on. You see Monty's flashing light back there. So I think he lost connectivity. So right now, I believe there's 4 of us. It's myself, it's Paul Whit, it's Jeffrey, and then it's another gentleman who had on the Navy jersey right here. So I believe this is coming up on the rear camera. And oh, we got another guy right here. So that may have been John. Actually, John B was in there with us. And so you see we got guys coming up. So I think we're now losing John B. Phil is working his way up to get attached. I'm up here with Jeffrey, and I'm up here with Paul Whit. And so it's getting real interesting, because now from what I'm seeing, it's like me against PRT, which, it goes with the territory of being racers and being pretty much on different teams now as I'm solo. So right now I got Jeffrey coming up on the rear camera as I come up under, drafting behind Paul. I'm hitting about 290 watts. My heart rate's up now at 175. That looks more realistic, and going 26 miles an hour. So I came up, he's looking. So I just come up to do my pull since he was up front, and we still have a very long way to go. So right now, not getting into too many games just yet, but at the same time being mindful of how much energy I am expending. So going about 75 watts right now. Jeffrey is up there, he's pulling. Phil has made it and connected back with the group. So I just got through pulling, so I'm falling back. And Paul Whit jumps on Phil's wheel. I jump on Paul's wheel, and I believe this is John behind me, or it's the guy with the Navy jersey. He is behind me. So of course I have my mark in front of me. It is Paul Whit, and so I'm on his wheel, and again, see, now we're noodling. I think this is a red light, and of course the good old stoplights slow us down, and we have to kind of reshuffle. So we slow down. I wipe the camera. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for giving me the mind to wipe it. So thank you, Crit Whit, for wiping that lens off so we can see a little bit of something before it gets too crazy out here. So right now you see there's 5 of us. It's Paul, it's the guy with the Navy jersey, it's Jeffrey, and it's also Phil. So you see Jeffrey and Phil in the rear camera. You see Paul Whit up again pulling, and we are making our way. We just passed the K's, and we have roughly about 3 to 4 more stoplights that we have to go through before we actually pull off and get ready for the donut ride sprint. So right now, just sitting in here. Again, you see my power is at 116. Jumped it up, and then back down again. So not doing anything serious right here. You see the speed is 21 miles an hour. And usually for this ride, I've been on this ride where the MPH is anywhere from upper 20s to low 30s, and I think we were noodling right here because the light was red. Excuse me. And so the light just went green. I went far wide because I had to spit, but at the same time just kind of wanted to see what was going on behind me, to see if they would come up so that I could sit like sit fourth or fifth wheel. They didn't overtake me, so I just jumped back in because I did not want to be in the wind too long, even though we're not going extremely fast. But hey, 22 miles an hour for some is fast. So again, remember where I come from. I do remember back in the day where I was like, man, I don't think I'll ever be able to go 20 miles an hour. Well, you know, with almost 2 years in the saddle and consistent grinding, your boy is here. Not that I'm the fastest, but I do think I am tactful minded, which also helps me thus far. So we'll see how this video plays out, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And again, if you're just clicking in right now and you have yet to make that commitment of hitting that red subscribe button, I ask that you would do it to help me out. I am trying to get to be over 1,000 subscribers. I am looking forward to being an influencer. I am looking forward to just sharing this experience of life behind bars, and I'm excited to share my experience with you. And so I ask that you would hit that red subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment down below, as well as even hit the notification button. And what that'll do is let you know every single time I upload a video, you will get notified so that you can go and check this video out and see the journey that your boy is taking. So right now, Paul was pulling. I think he gave him the chicken wing. This guy actually pulled through. So I'm just kind of sitting to his left a little bit, trying to find the perfect spot for drafting. You see Paul is falling back. You see Jeffrey is out of the saddle, jumping back on my wheel. And we still have Phil back there. So now I come around and I'm down doing my turn up front pulling. You see I'm pushing out 328 watts. Heart rate is at 165. So I've kind of recovered. We're going 26 miles an hour, cadence of 88 revolutions per minute, and all is well. So now I'm hitting over 330, 40, 50 watts, and now 400 watts. And I know that 400 watts is a good wattage for breakaways. Not that I was trying to break away, but I was just driving. So I think I look back more than I have ever looked back in the donut ride before in this particular one, just trying to see what was going on behind me and just kind of keep my eye on my contenders in this one. So I pull over. We got Jeffrey right here coming up. We got Paul on his, we got Phil on his wheel. We got Paul on his wheel. And then you see the Navy guy, he's behind me, and he actually said cracking or I don't have it. So he jumps on my wheel, which is perfect for when you're feeling like you don't have the legs, or you feel like you're about to break and you can't, you know you can't pull. What he did right here was perfect by staying in the back, because again, when you move up in the peloton, especially when we're doing a paceline rotation, if you move up to second wheel or third wheel, people are going to think that you're going to do your pull. But if you're cracking and you're like, no, I'm not pulling, then that means that either we have to bridge a gap or we have to go around you, when you could just hang out in the back, recover, and then when you're good to go, come on back in the rotation and help us keep the pace up and make it to our final destination, which is, of course, that checkered flag being the finish line. All right, so now I'm up front again pulling. We got Jeffrey on my wheel, and we got Phil out there sitting in the wind. He should have stayed tucked in because he's a good ways back to try to come up and overtake me if he's coming up to pull. And so right now I'm hitting 250 watts. My heart rate is at 169, so I'm still in the 160s, which is good for me. Going 23 miles an hour, so nothing serious. We weren't going extremely fast today, and I noticed that, and I could feel that. And I was like, okay, if we're gonna go this speed, I know I can have something for the end. And I wasn't dying, but I knew that if we were going to hold this tempo, that I may be able to do really well in the donut ride sprint. So right now, Jeffrey has overcome me. Paul is getting a swig, and sometimes I even forget to do that. And I encourage all of you, if you're out there riding, please remember to hydrate and get your nutrition in. So while you're on the ride, if you can. So right now I'm in the back again, just keeping my eyes on everybody I see here, and I'm going to just sit on this wheel because Paul is up front pulling. Phil is out to the left, and doesn't look like he's going to overtake Paul too fast. So this gives me a great opportunity to recover. As you see, my heart rate is even down to 163. And of course, Jeffrey, I think he's really keeping his eye on me, as well as him and Paul are keeping their eyes on me. again, because I'm racer, I'm tactful minded when it comes to these races, like looking what to do, whose wheel to follow, what to jump on, or whatever. So I jumped on Phil's wheel. He went up and pulled. Now we're rotating through. It's my turn to pull. I'm up here getting it in, doing 340 something odd watts. Again, the heart rate is starting to creep up because I'm up front. There's actually a little gap behind me. So you got Jeffrey out of the saddle again, and he's coming over top of me. And you got the Navy guy on his wheel. And then Paul says, this dude is not going up to pull. And so I told him, I said, hey, just jump on his wheel and don't overtake him, you know. And so he comes up here, and of course we just lost Phil, so now it's 4 of us. So we've gone from 5 riders to 4 riders, including myself. Jeffrey looks back and he pulls over to the left, and of course he has a gap on me right now. So if he would have drove, he would have had a really good gap. But this move right here was not the move for Paul to make, and I think this just happened from not training, not doing team tactics. But what he should have done was he should have sat right there. He should have just sat back there on the Navy's guy wheel. And what he did when he came up here, he pulled me up and he's trying to give him some dap, like, good job, but that wasn't the move to make, Paul. So sorry, brother, you should have stayed back there with the Navy guy and let me sit on your wheel and have to bridge that gap. And then what you should have did was jumped on my wheel as I tried to chase down Jeffrey. So Jeffrey got caught by his teammate. And so I'm sitting here on Paul Whit's wheel. Now I got Jeffrey on my wheel. And of course, Jeffrey's a little tired because he was just, in a sense, kind of had a little small little breakaway where his teammate brought the breakaway back. So now I'm sitting in between 2 PRT members, and it's just the 3 of us now. So the guy in the Navy kit, he actually broke. He's off the back. So now, as you see, there's nobody behind Jeffrey. There's nobody in front of Paul, and it's just the 3 of us now. And so I'm not going to drive it hard unless I'm going to attack, because again, it's 1 against 2. So I'm going to noodle. You see we're going 23 miles an hour. Heart rate is at 169, 170. I'm not looking to go hard and go fast at all. So they're back there now. And of course, I don't see this when riding. So now they're back there talking and just conversing about, I guess, what Paul did by bringing me back up to Jeffrey. But right now I'm just driving it, pushing 280 watts, heart rate at 167, going 23 miles an hour. And now we're coming up to Naval Amphibious Base Coronado. We're coming to the next light. And of course, they're going to just sit on my wheel. I don't expect them to pull. So of course, I'm not going to go any harder. I'm not going to go any faster. You see my power is not high at all. You see my speed is low. My heart rate is in 160s. So I'm doing good. So I'm just waiting. And here we go. Paul goes now. And so of course, he's coming over the top of me. And what do? I put out some wattage. I'm at over 1,000 watts just to jump on that. And then, of course, Jeffrey follows my wheel. So this is the right team tactics to do, especially when it's 2 against 1. What should have happened here is that Paul did what he did, and then Jeffrey did what he did. So as soon as I caught Paul, what Jeffrey should have did right now, bing, he should have went. And maybe I can't remember if the light up there is red or not, but what he should have did, he should have attacked me sooner than now, because it gave me a chance, as you see, it gave me a chance to recover and then to go on this one. So again, hitting over 1,000 watts to jump on his wheel. And you see now Paul's off the back. Paul may be chasing me down now. And so then, of course, I just jump on Jeffrey's wheel. This is tactics. This is called countering. So one will go, and because it's me against them, I have to go if I want to contend for first place. Now, because it's just 3 of us right here, I could simply sit up and just ride my bike on in. I mean, there's a big enough gap behind Paul right now to where we could all sit up and just ride on in, and I could take 3rd and they take 1st and 2nd. But if I'm contending for 1st, I have to respond to every single attack that they do. So right now, you see we're going 18 miles an hour. We're noodling. Like, we're not going hard. I'm not going to go hard at all because I know that they're going to attack me. So I'm taking advantage of this opportunity to recover. You see my heart rate's at 162. We're going 19 miles an hour on a donut ride. Like, we're not going hard at all. But at the same time, I am not going to be out here killing myself knowing I got 2 PRT members who I'm racing against. So I'm actually going to respond to what their efforts are. And because of their specific efforts today, I was able to recover and I was able to enjoy this ride and stand by to see what happens in the end. So right now we're going 22 miles an hour and we're coming up on I think the second to the last light. And of course, these lights are turning red on us. So again, we're going to come up to the red light, and because we have a red light, the red light makes me think about the subscribe button. So I asked that at this red light special, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you don't have a YouTube account, please set one up and come on back, pause it, come on back and subscribe to the Critwit Road Runner family. And even that truck that's going in front of us has a red strip on it. So just like the red subscribe button, it's like a red strip. Go ahead and hit that. These are subliminal messages that are being left for you all. And I ask that you would please, please, please subscribe to the family. I'm joking. But now, so you see Jeffrey's off the front, and look at what Paul is doing. Paul should not be doing this. Paul should just be sitting there, noodling, and waiting on me to respond to Jeffrey. So what does Paul do again? He's looking back, Jeffrey looks back, and he sees Paul does it again. And what this comes from is it comes from really riding as individuals, and this is all of us. So I'm not talking about PRT specifically. What happens is when we're riding as individuals in this particular ride, we don't want to be left. We don't want to get dropped. So when a person gives an effort, natural instinct is to respond to that. Well, the difference is that these two are teammates now, in that they're actually trying. You see Jeffrey's out of the saddle again. He probably just told him, hey, don't chase me, let Whit chase me. So now he sees that I jumped on it. You see Paul is way off the back now. And now if I would have looked back and saw that, I probably could have countered him. But I do know that Jeffrey, even though he's one who crashed in a few CBRs ago and broke his clavicle, he's recovered, he's back riding. I do feel that he has a better long range endurance than me. So it would have been really foolish for me to attack, knowing that he could have probably jumped on my wheel, recovered, and then attacked me in the end. So I just follow, simply just responding to what they do. So as you see here, Paul is now back with us. Jeffrey, he's sitting on my wheel. And so right now, what am I doing? I'm not jumping on his wheel because I wanted all of us to have to deal with the same wind. But when I look back and I saw that Jeffrey was on my wheel, which means Jeffrey's not working. He's working 30% easier than I am. So I said, well, if he's going to draft, then I'm going to draft. And since Paul was up front, and now we're coming to the sprint where there's no more stoplights ahead of us. It's just speed bumps. I said, okay, if Jeffrey's gonna draft, then I'm gonna draft. Simply, again, responding to everything that PRT is doing. And so right now, Jeffrey's drafting, I'm drafting. And so, of course, we're noodling. We're going 20 miles an hour. My heart rate is 155. I'm in a good position. Legs felt decent. Legs were not about to explode. Putting out over 220 watts. Everything is good to go. I mean, the wattage is going up and down. I'm in the hundreds, and we're coming up to the sprint area, trying to wipe off the camera so that you guys can see what's going on. And we're in a sense, we're noodling on. I'm not going to attack them. And yes, that thought went through my mind to attack. It went through my mind to attack. But again, I have to realize who I'm riding with and against. So I felt like Jeffrey could respond if I attacked. And at the same time, this is a little too far for me. I'm not Mr. 400. I'm not Mr. 500. I'm Mr. Critwit though. I'm joking. But I don't really necessarily, I think I have maybe like a 13-second sprint. And maybe that may be up to maybe 13-second sprint. That would be crazy if I had a 13-minute sprint. But you see here now that Paul is out of the saddle. He's kind of bringing the pace up a little bit, and we're going 27 miles an hour. My heart rate's up just a little bit, 172. Power still low. So again, just sitting, but Paul pulled entirely too long. So I'm just sitting on his wheel, just waiting on Jeffrey to respond, because I know that Paul is up front. I know that he's not going to be able to just go off the front and leave me. I'm drafting. So if he was to go, I was going to follow him, again, reacting to them, what they're going to do. And so I'm literally at this point, now Paul pulls over. He's kind of really soft pedaling, which he should have did maybe about 3 minutes ago. So now, of course, I overtake him, and I'm like, all right, we're getting closer to the sprint, and I know I have Jeffrey on my wheel. And I know Jeffrey's signature move is to attack, and there he goes. Jeffrey attacks, and when I see it, I respond. I'm over 1,000 watts, 1,100 watts, 1,200 watts, and how high of watts do I get? Now we're in 1,300. I hit 1,357 watts, and I am chasing Jeffrey down. We're almost to the sprint line, and I just beat Jeffrey. Your boy C-Dub got first in the CCCDR on May 11, 2019. Hey guys, I'm super excited about it. Thank you for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. On to the next one with your boy C-Dub, aka Critwit. Peace.